So now we will be programming our tapping. So in the previous video, we did the drill. We installed the icon with the speed change. We went down to 600 RPM. And now we open the box for the tapping. I just mentioned the operation. Tapping M6. And then I choose an icon that is related. This one. And I can start my operation. So I start with the M150 function. M150 will inhibit the feed override and synchronize the feed at 100% of the spindle speed. Then I will start my tapping operation, G1, Z minus 3, F1. Let me explain a little bit here. Since we are using a compensated tapping device with a spring, we will push for the value of 1/5 of the overall length of the tap, or at least the first 3 trades, we will push the tap at 100% of the value of the pitch. M6 being a 1 millimeter pitch, so I say F1. And then for the remaining of the tapping depth, we will reduce the feed by 5 to 10%, depending on the tapping length. This to allow the tap making its way on the material, and this allows the spring to compensate. It's a good way to do a tapping this way. So next block, G1, I go to the total depth of my tap with a reduced feed of 10%. Then once I am at the bottom of my tap, I can simply invert M1404. I can use the same speed, or you can increase. If it's a matter of making up time, you can come out at 700 or 800 RPM. But since this one won't be obviously the longest operation in my cycle, I can leave it coming out at the same speed as I came in. Then I come out. And then I make sure I come out of the material far enough, because remember, the tap will be a little bit further than the machine position. I will be on the traction spring, so I must make sure I unwind enough so the tap comes out of the material. So this is why I come out at, let's say, 3 millimeters and a feed of 1 millimeter. Tapping is done. Now I don't forget to cancel my M150 with the M151 function. This is it. My tapping operation is done. So I validate, and let's quickly generate it to see if everything looks good. Yeah, this is the case. And as you see, this is not our longest operation. Now, regarding the tapping and specifically the M150 function, a little advice from me. Whenever you are using an M150 function, and when you are in the setup mode on the machine, keep the operation containing the M150 for the end. You test it at the end of your setup. Because once the numerical control reads the M150 functions, it freezes the feed override at 100%. So you don't have any control on the machine anymore, and that can be scary, believe me. So as for me, this is how I do it. So I open my operation containing the M150, and I simply comment it, and then I validate. So the machine will just ignore this operation. Then, of course, I have to send it to the controller. But this we will see in a more detailed way, of course, once we are setting up our part on the machine. this is all for the operation 4. I hope this has been useful for you, and I will see you in the next video.